with the magnificent success of the Beltline in the city of Atlanta, trails have become one of the hottest things that we can do in our communities. Not only are they very popular, but they add value to the properties around them. We've seen studies that show that having access or being located next to a trail can add as much as 20% to the value of property. So it's not only just a great connector, but it's and a great amenity, but it also improves our property values around in our region. You'll see here on the slide in front of you the Sandy Springs Trail Master Plan. We have a very elaborate plan that's designed to connect all of the city, not only within the city, but connect to other trail networks. You'll look to the left, you'll see the one there along the river in the Powers Ferry area that connects to the Cobb Trail Network. Going south along Georgia 400, you'll see that we are the Path 400, which connects up into the perimeter, goes all the way down and connects to the Beltline. The Cobb, through the Cobb connection, we can connect all the way to the Silver Comet Trail that goes into Alabama. Up on the north end, you'll see a fairly complete plan. That trail network is under construction, what we call Springway, and I'll go into a little bit more detail as we go through the slides. But you'll see we have a very comprehensive trail network that really goes all the way out to the east side of the community, out toward the Peachtree Corners area. So we're building as kind of the central part of the North Metro region. We're in a position to be able to connect a lot of different trail networks, and that's what we've tried to do with our Trail Master Plan. And now I'll go into the various pieces of it. This is one kind of in the perimeter district. It's Peachtree Dunwoody at Lake Hearn, Johnson Ferry Road to Peachtree Dunwoody, and the Path 400. It comes up through the central part, and this is the one that connects down through along parallel to Georgia 400 and connects into the Beltline in Atlanta and the other trail networks that are being built to our south. This is a very crucial part and really one of the most expensive pieces of trail that we have. The Path 400 is being built in segments because of the cost. We're in the process of beginning the construction on the south end of that blue leg, connecting to Atlanta. Atlanta and Sandy Springs are cooperating on the construction of that segment. We're also building as part of the construction around 400 and 285, that portion on the north end. We do have a gap in the middle that we're working to try to right now to find funding from the federal government through the ARC to be able to connect all that together. The north end of this segment and the south end that are about to go into the construction phase, and then we're looking for the money to be able to connect the rest of those. And you'll see that Johnson Ferry Road to Peachtree Dunwoody Road is part of the GDOT construction that will be part of the Transform 400 and 285 that will continue on. And then inside 285 in the Lake Hearn area, we've got that segment, that leg that goes out to the DeKalb County line that will extend. Ultimately, we have the plan to in T-Splost to widen Hammond Drive, and that will connect into that leg of the trail that will go out toward the MARTA stations in the perimeter market. Next slide. You can see this is out what we call the Panhandle, or the folks sometimes refer to as the Dunwoody section of Sandy Springs. We've got a trail network that will connect out on the west side, but you'll see this particular phase is part of the widening of the bridges. We have anticipated that we will have the trail network that will connect all of these, and we have already worked with GDOT to get the bridges prepared to connect our trail networks. The Spalding Drive Bridge is about to be under construction. It's in the programming phase. It will be widened beyond the normal GDOT standards to accommodate the trail that would go across that bridge. We've also got the Peachtree-Dunwoody corridor study that's to look at starting up at Spalding Drive and coming down to the Abernathy area and Mount Vernon area, looking at what we need to be doing in there to provide the connectivity to our trail network there. That study is currently underway. Will take about a year, and from that study, we will begin to design the trail system that will then connect all the way down through the Path 400. It'll continue that path that you saw earlier, all the way down into the city of Atlanta. That, as I say, that study is currently underway. The next one. Peachtree-Dunwoody last mile connectivity is part of that as well. I guess I didn't see the bottom part of the slide. All right, go ahead. We'll go to the City Springs connections to the regional trail. Sandy Springs Circle and Johnson Ferry Road, that has already been done. When we widened the Sandy Springs Circle a few years ago, we went ahead and built the trail segment of that. We widened that, so it's complete. It will connect ultimately into other pieces of the trail network, but it's operational and ready to go. It will connect into also the trail network, which will go toward the perimeter from City Springs that is currently under construction right now along Mount Vernon. And that's the next phase that you see there, the Mount Vernon Corridor project. It's under construction right now. It will create it's part of the widening and the reconfiguration of the Johnson Ferry Mount Vernon intersection here at City Springs to make Mount Vernon and Johnson Ferry bi-directional. Right now, they're one way. Mount Vernon is one way going east, and Johnson Ferry one way going west. Both of them will become bi-directional, and so that you don't have to make that traffic transition in the middle of Roswell Road, which is very complex. There'll be a new street that will be built between the Fulton County Library and Mount Vernon Presbyterian Church that will allow you, if you're on either Johnson Ferry or Mount Vernon, to do that shift if you want to switch from one to the other far to the east of Roswell Road and make that transition a lot more effective and efficient. As part of this project, we are building what we call a side path, which is basically a term that we add to trails to be sure that we can get GDOT funding, because they don't fund trails, but they do side paths. So we changed the name to make sure we can get it funded. So that's part of our T-Splost projects with that project, as well as I mentioned the Mount Vernon and Mount Vernon Highway Johnson Ferry project that's going on simultaneously. The next phase will be Hammond Drive widening from Barfield to Glen Ridge. Right now, we have 4 lanes in both directions, except for between Glen Ridge and Johnson Ferry, excuse me, Glen Ridge and Roswell Road. That creates quite a bottleneck if you're moving to or from the City Springs area to the perimeter market. That's the next phase. It's in design. We've bought a lot of the right-of-way. It's part of our T-Splost 2 project. So it's in design, but that design is beginning to wrap up. As part of that road reconfiguration, we will also build a side path through there, which will connect the trails to the east. And we're working very carefully and very closely. We've got a lot of cooperation from the Perimeter Community Improvement District to fund a lot of these segments, particularly the ones along Mount Vernon and coming in between the perimeter and City Springs. We hope to be able to, once we get the design done for the other pieces that affect the perimeter, working with them very closely. We're looking at, I should have mentioned during the segment of Path 400, we're talking about how we may be able to work cooperatively to get some of the funding there. A key piece of the Hammond Drive widening and this whole thing that's going on, all these improvements that are occurring in the City Springs district, is the reconfiguration of the Boylston Drive and Hammond Drive intersection. We'll align that, which will also make transportation a little bit easier in there. And then, of course, we've got the Johnson Ferry Road side path from Glen Ridge all the way to Peachtree Dunwoody as part of the T-Splost 2. So as you can see, we've got a fairly robust plan, some of it under construction, some of it in design, and some of it we're just waiting for money to be able to make it all happen. So we'll take a look at the next one. On the north end, we're under construction there. This is a little bit different. Roswell has a fairly robust trail network, and our goal here is to provide some of the connectivity to this area. You'll see the picture there. We've designated our trail network. We're calling it the Springway. You'll see the boardwalk there along Orkin Lake. Very few people know that there's a lake up on the north end, and we're building this trail along there from, it'll be a bike pedestrian bridge, and it has several segments, as you can see. It goes from Roswell Road to Dunwoody Place to the river, then comes back around and connects along Morgan Falls and around. So it's kind of a loop that we're building. The segment there along what we call Trail 2A is under construction right now. We ran into some problems. There was a rock in the lake that we didn't anticipate. Contractor had a lot of problems. It's delayed the construction on that piece a little bit, significantly, almost a year, because of trying to figure out how to cut through that rock to be able to build that boardwalk. That's going to be a very beautiful segment of trail. Not only will it incorporate views of the lake, but also the river. And we'll provide a little bit more access to some of the amenities that we have up in that area, like the Morgan Falls Park, the dog park, access to the Morgan Falls area. That's just going to be a beautiful area to just go walk or ride your bike, roller skate, whatever you want to do there. Another piece, that purple section up in the upper right-hand corner, is what we call the Roberts Drive side path. We're running into some challenges on that piece because of we have some historic battle. There's some Civil War entrenchments there that we have to work around. Plus, you've got the national park that's in that area, so we're having to move it around from one side of the road to the other and provide pedestrian crossings. We're going to take a look at that one more time. We've got a plan in place. We're going to take another look to see if it needs to be quite as elaborate as we're planning right now to be able to accommodate some of the other fixtures and assets in that area. So I think that gets me all the way. No, okay, I'm sorry. We got the west end. Oh, that area, that green line and the red line that you see there in the center of the slide is over in the North Side Drive, New North Side Powers Ferry area. The green portion you see there is complete. It goes from North Side Drive down to the river, connects the Palisades part of the national park. It's a very popular area. That area gets a tremendous amount of use, so particularly this time of year in the summer, a lot of rafting, kayaking, and fishing going on there. We had some challenges, some safety issues, because people were parking along the road there and walking down to the park because there was not enough parking. So we put that into our plan to ensure that people can safely navigate down from from North Side down to the Palisades area, and it's getting a lot of usage. We're also looking right now and we've got some studies underway looking at Powers Ferry, that red line, that will connect into an existing sidewalk network that we have from Dupree all the way up to Powers Ferry. This will again carry on the south side of 285 down to the river, giving access to the river and creating more of a walkable network in that western section there, the River Edge Parkway, the commercial district of Powers Ferry. So we know we need to do something in that area to provide some additional connectivity and some more pedestrian friendly access. And so we've got that that is about to kick off the master planning for that area. And I think that does me. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to quickly give an answer. If I don't know it, I'll make it up.
We got one question for you, Mr. Mayor. What is the status of the bike ped bridge at Highway 9 across the river?
That was what we're doing, that in conjunction, in cooperation with Roswell. Roswell was supposed to be was in charge of building it. We were providing funding, but they took ownership of the project. We're in discussions with Roswell right now because they have had some changes. They may not necessarily want to be the lead on that. We're having negotiations with some conversations, and I wouldn't call them negotiations, just conversations with Roswell. We're willing to take that project over and get it constructed. We just got to get Roswell to give us all the materials and everything they've accumulated to this point, and they will be more than willing to take over the construction management of that. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get that done fairly soon. That's a key link to when we talk about a regional trail network. That is a key link to being able to access the trails to the north, as well as to some degree the trails over to the west, over into Cobb County. So it's a key linchpin to our plan and to a regional transit or trail plan. So we're anxious to get that underway and really provide the connectivity that's necessary to create a real regional trail network.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. We really, really appreciate your time and walking us through such a comprehensive trail plan.
Thank you.